We are not alone. You are watching Contact TV with your hosts, Leslie Mitchell-Clark
and Wes Roberts,
exploring ufology, metaphysics, and beyond with the world's foremost experts. We are not alone. And we would like to welcome everyone out there in our viewer land. This is another episode of Contact TV. And in fact, we are kicking off 2017. And we are very happy to do so because 2016 was certainly an annus horribilis for many, many people. So when we wanted to have a wonderful guest to begin the new year, only one name really popped into my mind. And that was not only our dear friend, but the world's foremost expert on crop circles, their formations, their patterns, their origins, and that would be, of course, videographer and also lovely singer and musical composer, Miss Patty Greer. Patty Greer, we are so happy that you could join us for our 2017 kickoff episode of Contact TV. And how are you doing today, Patty?
Fine. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It kind of reminds me, oh yeah, I do those things.
All of those things and more. Welcome.
All of those groovy things, you are doing them all the time. And we were so privileged to have met at a ufology conference where you were really, I have to say, one of the absolute highlights of the entire conference, which was star-studded. So we're very, very fortunate to be able to have you join us today to talk about what you do and what you know best and what nobody else knows as well. And that is the crop circle phenomena. So, Patty, what's new and exciting in your world? What kinds of things are you discovering and exploring?
My most exciting lessons were learned in 2014 through meeting the real partner of William Levengood, the only scientist in the world that discovered what's really going on in crop circles. And all these decades, we have been fed an incredible amount of misinformation, funded very carefully by the group that's supposed to mislead us. And the crop circle phenomenon is probably, as Stephen Bassett said, the most difficult because it leaves too much physical evidence. Crop circles have biophysical changes that you can't pretend didn't happen. And frankly, I should always have grabbed one of my bottles of crop circle wheat because I have them in my bedroom and I have them in my living room because I think that for me, I like to keep my frequency in a place where I can work in my high frequencies.
Surely.
And when I have crop circle energy around me, it really works. The interesting thing was that the crop circles were proven without a doubt to be real. Easily in the 1980s and 90s with this great scientist, William Levengood. And he and his real partner in the lab, Penny Kelly, for the last 16 years of his life, through multiple experiments, realized the hugest, most unbelievable thing that nobody's saying except me. Crop circles are not coming out of the sky. They're coming out of the earth.
Well, that is earth-shaking news, actually. It really is.
Most people didn't know about at all until you.
Well, you know, I've made 6 movies, and it wasn't until number 8, Crop Circle Diaries, I'm trying to get the glare off,
Can see that
I learned absolutely everything. This is my new movie. I put it out this year. I world premiered at a couple of the biggest UFO events that are unfortunately completely infiltrated now, and the speakers will pretty much just be the same, and the same, and the same, until we change ufology. And ufology is in for a complete overhaul now because we've lost our power to money. We've lost our great speakers to money. And for myself, I lost my first 4 films to what looked like distribution, but instead it was a very well-organized suppression. So my first 4 movies, I have struggled with getting the rights back. And it's been an interesting dance because I don't make stuff up. Why would my movies be such a threat to conscious media right now? Is because I'm the only one who didn't repeat the famous people's BS.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read their books, watch their movies. Instead, I went and laid in crop circles. And I laid in enough of them that by the end of my second year, they took me. And I thought I had fallen asleep. I thought I passed out. When I woke up, I kept blinking my eyes because I saw things I had never seen.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear unbelievable sound, like a mile or two away. And I remembered laying there thinking, why are my senses so tuned up? And it took me years to realize that I had been taken that day.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did know was that 6 months later, I completed a full feature film by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't mean to make a movie. I had no training. This was never a dream. I was never into UFOs. It wasn't like that was me. What happened was I got poisoned by a dentist because I used to trust doctors and dentists in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up from his free nitrous oxide getting my old mercury fillings out, and the chart said white porcelain. And while I was out cold, he put in 6 new mercury fillings.
Mm-hmm.
So I was poisoned within 6 months, and as a professional harpist, pianist, singer, songwriter, what did they get? They got my hands, and my hands are still challenged today, 12 years later.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my surrender of, oh my God, doctors are lying, dentists are lying, bankers are lying. I mean, in 2008, in 2004, in 2001, I mean, we've just been bombarded with so much incredible disinformation that has all the money. So here we are in 2016. I live in America where we just had the most circus embarrassing election of my entire life.
Oh, I'm an American, Patty. Remember, I'm from New York City. My heart is broken. I can't even tell you how I feel. I can't even begin to talk about it, or I'll lose it.
But it doesn't even matter who won because neither of them is appropriate to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
What we had was a showing of 2 complete evil entities that represent everything you don't want to be, in my opinion. And I'm not saying the winner or the loser. I'm saying you had 2 people that represented America running in front of the world, a $2 billion circus. And it was everybody scratching their head going, which one is less evil? Let me think.
Mm-hmm.
That is not who we need to be. So what we have is a corporate Murdoch who's bought up all the media so that he can funnel out everything he wants you to think. And then we've got the that's bought up all the conscious media. And they're throwing out these few people that lived in my lab that will do what they're told for the public. And everybody's believing it. And it's, here I am, I'm just a girl. I'm just a woman who tells the truth. And I have been, for the last 4 years, the most hacked UFO filmmaker in history.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got my movies locked up by the distributors. I've got somebody really uncomfortable with my films getting out to the world, paying a hacking group a huge amount of money. I mean, they don't do this work quickly and easily, and it's still tomorrow. So I made a very wonderful surrender in the last week because I can't play. This is like such a waste of energy to have to dance with devils that don't mean anything to you. For me, that's so my past, but they're so prevalent with their fear. Their fear of women, their fear of wisdom, their fear of losing, God forbid, power that they think they have with all this money and darkness. But here we are. We're about to shift into a new year, and I'm begging people with money to open some new UFO events. We have to start over. It's not about trying to fix the lost souls. They've made a decision. And when you've got all the big speakers in ufology funneling into a place where perhaps it might not be so good for them, we're losing our field. So it's going to be really a rejuvenation of those who say, I'm not for sale, and I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So I'm out here like on an island, And I surrendered all my gigs for next year, which I didn't mean to, but they're all funded now by Darkside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sad what's happened to our events. And I asked about the ones in Canada, to which you replied, "Ugh!" So it's, you know, we are all in an interesting time. We're not going to name the events, but it's kind of obvious it's one big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all run by money and fear factor. But once they suck these poor people in, your stuff's done. Everything you've ever done is hidden, locked away, frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't play, then, the next team kicks in to try and hide you. So what is this all about? What's the punchline? The punchline is this. Let's get the heck over all that boring stuff that they are doing because they're scared of this. And what happened in England, the epicenter? Oh my gosh, I used to go every year to Wiltshire.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. 4-hour drive through these beautiful country roads, and I'm on the wrong side of the road, on the wrong side of the car, and I'm doing roundabouts. It's like, God, where's my GPS, And luckily, when I was over there, I'd always try and tune the GPS to give me sexy guy. I don't want the girl. Give me sexy guy, for the GPS. So whenever it's turn right, he goes, oh, baby, how you turn right. I mean, I was like writing all this script because I was trying to calm myself down from how difficult it is to drive there. But it's this beautiful little place in the middle of nowhere where there's all these sacred sites.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they pick Wiltshire to deliver these crop circles? The discoveries, documentation from all around the world is that almost every crop circle is sitting over an aquifer of water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wiltshire is sitting over the largest aquifer in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every crop circle documented is sitting over a ley line, which is a line directly between two sacred sites. Wiltshire is laced with sacred sites.
Yes.
And the two major ley lines of the world cross in the Avebury Stone Circle, right off to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So the Avebury Stone Circle, everybody knows Stonehenge, but nobody talks about Avebury, which is even larger,
Mm-hmm.
even older,
Mm-hmm.
and even more original stones, but same beautiful sarsens that are filled with quartz,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is our communicator. So these sacred sites that are everywhere in this area are why the circle makers go there, because the frequency is just high.
It is.
It's high.
You can feel
The
it.
land is, yes. So here we are every year. For all my years, we have this great research center called the Silent Circle. And we get there first thing in the morning, everybody coming in from all over the world. This was our meeting place, the Silent Circle. They had cakes and coffee, and the weird guy Charles that runs it, that's in almost all my movies. He started getting a little edgy with the ego problems rising in the field, and I started to see him lose interest. But it's like, no, don't. This summer we had no research center. It's over. It's closed.
Wow.
Closed. So the dark money is really scared of crop circles because, number one, we photograph them. The messages last forever.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, when the wheat gets hit with these amazing frequencies, the nodes, which is, the stalk of the wheat every 4, 5, 6 inches, has like an elbow. And the elbow, or the node, where the plant can bend and change, expands. Once it gets hit with these frequencies, which are the crop circle builders, the nodes get blown out, these little elbows. So they either extend, which are called elongated nodes, you can't fake that, or bubble, and a burn hole where the steam had to escape. You can't fake that on 10,000 of them in 3 acres.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got biophysical evidence something happened in this field, and they can recreate it with a microwave on this many of them, but not this many.
Right.
So what you have is all this physical evidence. And then you've also got from the air all these images which do go into the mind. So why crop circles? Why wheat? It'll last 4 months of summer. A lot of people will see it. A lot of people will film it. It's organic. It's alive. It's part of the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Who's creating crop circles? Guess what? It's the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It is messages coming from the earth. So what we have on a physical, scientific, analytical level is crop circles are coming out of the earth in pairs of counter-rotating vortices, clockwise, counterclockwise, and they're coming up in pairs on a ley line through the water. So what you have is earth and water before it even hits the surface. Now, some crop circles that appear to be human-made, and I used to say, oh, this is a human-made one. The hair isn't standing up on my arms. No tingles, no goosebumps, which is the most fantastic thing about crop circles. You step in, and all of a sudden, woo, you know, I'm like, oh my God. And I remember the last time I went in, 2014, I went without him, but in 2010 and 11, I took my last boyfriend. And I remembered him saying, I'm not going to fake it. And I remember right when the hair went up and I was like, phew. I turned around just kind of subtly and he was like this. I mean.
Believer.
And he was, so the hair was really standing up and I just remember his eyes and the hair and I took a photo. It's not just me making this up. It really does happen. There is an extremely enhanced electromagnetic or electrostatic energy in the crop circles. Mm-hmm. And I can feel this umbrella that goes 10, 20 feet further. And I would experiment as soon as I'd like step backward and it would go down and then I move in and it would go up and it was like, wow, that is so completely physical. Mm-hmm. So on a physical and etheric, spiritual, a multidimensional level, these crop circles are affecting us in a human way. They didn't totally fix my hands, but it distracted me from my entire life. Mm-hmm. Once I stepped in my first crop circle, it was like nothing else mattered. And it's not like I want my life to be this teeny little bubble, but I realized the size of the lie, the size of how much misinformation and how all Hollywood has these movies that do nothing but, oh my God, the ships are here to shoot us and kill us and then they're going to eat us and it's the reptilians and the blue wings, they're going to kill us. Let's go into fear. So what's happened is I didn't mean to do this. I wasn't looking for this kind of work. I had no idea this was my future. But I think that somebody who is into mind control and foreseeing things had a feeling new through remote viewing that I was going to bring it with Penny Kelly. And I did. Crop Circle Diaries is without a doubt the most important film in ufology, in my opinion, because there is footage where two balls of light lay a crop circle down in seconds. Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
And what do you think?
It's fantastic. I've never seen anything like it, and I remember it being shown at the conference. And we know about your material, so yeah.
It was absolutely phenomenal and clear evidence of these energy balls coming up from out of the earth, not being directed down into some type of containment beam, to use a Star Trek term, but literally these balls of sacred energy coming out of specific areas and being manipulated by some type of consciousness.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. The film is phenomenal.
Thank you. Well, did you see Crop Circle Diaries yet, or did you see the older one?
The older one.
The older one.
Go to pattygreer.net and for $5 stream this.
Sure.
And you have to see it. I mean, it's so. This is my last Crop Circle movie. Number one, I'm sick of the hackers and all the crap I've dealt with. But for me, there's no other answers. What happened when I was filming Crop Circle Diaries? What happened when I made my first and fourth movies? Let's go to the beginning.
Sure.
Okay.
I knew nothing. I went and started laying in crop circles. And my second year, when I went back, I went alone because I knew that I wanted to just live in the crop circles. I didn't want anybody to tell me it's time to go to dinner. I wanted to just live in the crop circles morning, noon, and night. I was an animal. So I come home. I had hired a film crew for no reason that I knew of to film me and my friends laying in the crop circles. So I get back with the footage. I got permission to use the Oliver's Castle footage where they laid the crop circle down in seconds. And so I hired a kid on Craigslist to help me put the footage together. And I nailed a 77-minute movie like in a few days. And I thought, how could it be this easy to make a movie? Well, the footage was great. And it was all filmed in the crop circles. And I just finished movie number 8. All of my movies are firsthand. I don't do reporters telling second and third hand stories. You either have stuff on your fingers from the week or I'm not talking to you. You know, I mean, literally, I think it's really important for us to really be in higher discernment now so we can stop with the listening to the highly funded people misinforming the world. We need to get back to basics and leave this all behind. So I lay out the movie. I end it with the Oliver's Castle footage. I said to the editor, oh my God, that was incredible. Let's turn off the gear, cool it down, go out on the deck, take a break, and then come in and watch it like strangers and see if the movie's done. So we went outside, and as we're walking out the door, I looked over my shoulder and I said, what's that blue orb on the monitor? And he came back in and he said, Patty, the monitor's unplugged from the wall. And I walked closer and I saw that the orb had incredible detail and it wasn't one in the movie. And I went, whoa! Ah! And all of a sudden I felt like I was in a crop circle. I'm in Boulder, Colorado. And the poor kid looks at me and he goes, you look weird. I mean, this was funny. And all of a sudden I just was like, turn the gear back on. He said, why? I said, I don't know. Turn the gear back on. I thought we were going to take a break. And I was like, all of a sudden, like in a different state. So we lit the gear back up. I said, show me that Oliver's Castle footage. So we put it up. I said, reverse it. He said, why? I said, I don't know. Reverse it. So we reversed it and watched it. And then I said, slow it down. He said, how slow? I said, I don't know, 30%. Where did that come from? Why did I say that? I mean, it shocked me. And then he just looked at me and went, okay. And then I found the communication between the two balls of light right there. That's how I found it. Total telepathy, not about me, human witness, it happened. As soon as I found that line between the two balls of light, I was like, oh my God. And they communicated and the field went down. It's binary code. I mean, it is white, black, black, white, white, black. It's so direct. And it goes a little bit out further as if the communication continued beyond the spectrum of what that frame showed us. But I have been so excited. And both of those movies, number 1 and number 4, are part of a group of my first 4 movies that are locked away by distributors.
Patty, could I I'm sorry, Patty. I just had just a quick question I wanted to interject. Now, you are, as many people know, a superb musician. You're a highly musical person, both as a composer and a harpist, and you had a recording studio. You've done it all. In these experiences, especially these early experiences when you were first examining this phenomena, did you ever have an auditory component? Did you ever hear tones or anything that could be cold music or chordal structures or anything like that?
No. Music has not been a part of this experience for me. A lot of people do, but I have not.
And that's why I'm asking. Some people do swear that they hear a sonic component. And in some of the new research that's being done at, of course, Avebury and Stonehenge and Newgrange, they now believe that some of these structures were very involved with producing sonic components. That maybe these people who are hearing something are even hearing something residual. I'm not sure. Maybe they're tripping. Maybe they're going in the past. I don't know. But you yourself have not really experienced that in that way.
No. Mine has been more tactile. Mine has been where I feel my frequencies recalibrate.
Yeah. So it's
And
kinesthetic.
even though I love,
Yeah. I was just going to say it's kinesthetic, more your experience. Yeah.
and even though I love the people I'm there with, they know that Patty has a rule that we walk silently. We don't talk as we're going in the tram lines. And when we actually hit the formation, it's not even like I have a rule. It's just what happens to me is I just do this when I can feel that 10 or 20 feet like, oh, we're in umbrella. You know, I'm just like, woo, you know, and then I just do this. And this means to whoever I'm with, that's just, and I never talk in the crop circles. I don't want to be with people. I always, when I get to the edge, which is where all of a sudden you can see the formation. As you're walking in a tram line, it is wheat for acres or barley or corn or oats. It's just acres of flat grain. You can't see a crop circle on the ground. So to find the directions or to get in, I'm kind of cheap. I have to admit, I loved it when I saw a head bobbing. Somebody got there before me. It was like, oh, over there, you know? I mean, they're really hard to find. When you're flying, if you can clock it on a GPS, perhaps you could do it on the ground. But I never did that. I didn't have that technology. I wasn't thinking. I was just filming and filming and filming. But for me, it was also about just experiencing. And I've been asked to do tours for years, and it's like, I got to be honest, I'm too selfish. I want to be with the circle makers. When I'm over there, I want to be with them and her. So here I am. I'm doing it again. I'm doing the up, but it's actually the mother. So what we have is they're coming out of the earth in counter-rotating vortices. So the mother has sent this message, and if she has predetermined with others in the atmosphere, ETs, other dimensionals, if she has predetermined with them, they need a star map to tell them where their crew went, then they, with her, will predetermine this message. And when they come out of the earth in counter-rotating vortices, and this was explained to me by Penny Kelly in the study that she did with William Levengood, that they build a variety of different frequencies, each with distinct boundary conditions. Ion, electron, avalanche, charge density particles. There can be microwaves when humans are involved, and then those are damaging to the field. But all of these elements that ETs will bring in, that the Earth will send up, and that human consciousness creates when they set an intention in a sacred site or in a group calling this moment a sacred site. And I've had experience where I've met people who said, we asked for a confirmation of our free energy device. I met those people in a crop circle in 2014 that I had a crew, I had a drone, I had Sasha Stone going into his first crop circle. I was so excited, I was taking him in. And it was this stunning looking formation from the air, just complex and amazing. And then we get in it, and I'm said, you know, to the camera guy, I know it's your first crop circle, but I'm paying you. Follow me. Of course not. He's like waiting for his magical moment till we had the camera set up. So he walks in, and I had already gone in and gone, oh man, no buzz, no tingles. Oh crap, I'm filming this unbelievable formation, and it's human made. So I was kind of like, okay, pull it back, pretend it isn't. Let's get this on cameras, you know, as everything that it is, which is a glorious day, a gorgeous formation, and humans probably made it. So we get in, and Sasha and I are doing our thing on camera, and he says, I kind of feel like this is human made. I'm not feeling any energy, you know, and I said, well, I'll be honest, yeah, I have to agree. On the other hand, and I'm on camera, there's the sacred site up there, and one over there. We can see these monoliths on the hill. So we are on a ley line. We're sitting over an aquifer. It does have all the elements of a real crop circle, yet no buzz. And there's these 5 women sitting over there. So we finished our thing, and I shut the camera off, and I said, hi, ladies. Thank you for your patience. And do you have anything to say about this formation? And the lady with the silver braid, she puts her arms up and she goes, heck yes, I do. We are Free Energy team, and we were meditating in the Avery Stone Circle yesterday with our technical team. And they and us asked for confirmation of our device. She holds up a photo from the air of the crop circle we're in, and she holds up a photo of the device. And they were almost identical. So what we had was the mother had pre-agreed because she heard her children sitting on a sacred site, asking for this confirmation. And so very much like I was always awakened at 3:30 or 3 in the morning when I was making the films. It just changed my sleep pattern. And I remember I'd always try and make deals. Come on, let me sleep tonight. Come on, let me sleep tonight. I keep rolling over and find, okay. And I'd get up and I'd grab a pen and paper and I just whatever, and then I wake up in the morning and grab the pen and go, holy crap. I could do that. So all the movies just happen like that. I think that a lot of the human circle makers are doing it the same way, where they had a dream last night where they were gifted the schematic to be laid out in the field. And I think that the circle makers, the mother and ETs and human consciousness, not human stupidity, human consciousness, all agrees that we will also use humans to deliver them so it'll be a little less scary for humanity to receive. If we can blame it on a couple of guys with boards and ropes, then humanity will maybe look at the picture and not be so scared that these are actually multidimensional deliveries. So, isn't that interesting? That even the human ones are real.
Yeah, that's surprising, totally. It's, I'm trying to process it right now, and I can't. So it's a revelation, one of those things for us. So thank you for sharing. And actually, Patty, you had mentioned 2 or 3 times about the messages crop circles are giving. So we know that some of the messages are directional beacons to others. Can you tell our viewers about some of the other messages? Are you able to share that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got 8 movies, so I've got a lot of data. This is The Shift Has Hit the Fan. And this one is free on my website, which I hope they haven't hacked the link today. But The Shift Has Hit the Fan is free for 30 days. I am so committed to get the information out that if they're going to play this much havoc on my life, I'm just going to give the movies away and hope that a few people will make a generous donation so I can keep working and gifting the movies. So The Shift Has Hit the Fan is about all the advanced technologies. And there's a crop circle that showed that one, and there's a crop circle that showed that one. This is the Cyril effect generator. There's a crop circle of it. And the crop circle looks just like the generator. So we have had all these messages that have gone into our subconscious, and if that's all they get, at least they got a moment of airplay that is embedded. And if the circle makers can get those messages into the minds of people, we will evolve more than not.
Patty, how old do you think the crop circle phenomena actually is? This beautiful collaboration between human consciousness, Earth consciousness, and perhaps extraterrestrial beings. Does it go back into the Middle Ages, the Stone Ages? What are the earliest records of crop circles?
Earliest records are in the 1700s, but that's just records. And how much are they telling us about the UFOs from, the ancient Egypt days? They're not really telling us anything that they can put their finger on other than they're all coming in ships to kill everyone and be scared. So I don't have a date, but I do believe that as long as ETs have been here, as long as the Earth has had a first breath, I think she's been communicating with her people forever. I think she's really upped the game because people aren't listening. And she's also being fracked to death. Her blood is being sucked out. She's given us all these free technologies. We've got her magnetics. We've got her free energy. We've got all of these advanced everythings from the Earth and all these other dimensional entities, but we've got these group of humans that think they're slick enough to destroy the planet and then go pick another one. And here we have men, very famous, in really pretty clothing, saying, I am in charge of the Mars mission. And I'm going to do this and that for the world. I'm just so rich, and I'm going to do all this. And meanwhile, my movie called Women of Today, I interviewed 33 different women. And I thought, oh, finally a non-UFO movie, my breakout. Yay, maybe I'll, get out in the world. 33 women. Who doesn't want to see beautiful women that are all highly intelligent? Oh, wait a minute. There's 3 women in the Mars mission. Oh, shoot, there's Barbara Lamb, who's interviewed a couple thousand contactees. Oh, wait a minute, I told the truth about my contact. Well, I guess it's another UFO movie. But the interesting thing is that one of my 33 women is actually building the shuttles going to Mars. Mm-hmm. Hello, wow. Shanaz Soni from Pakistan, who grew up with a father very much like these unfortunate people that are trying to think they can control people's awareness. Yeah. Her father yelled, "Get out of that corner and stop reading. You're going to die with a book in your hands." So she grew up with this male, insecure, dominant. I love you guys. I love men. Don't kid me. I love men. So don't take this wrong. Yeah. It's just the men that we're pumping forward are not a good example of great men. Mm-hmm. So what we have is this bloated, egocentric thing about, I'm going to take you guys to Mars and I'm going to tell you what it's like up there, when really the people not getting any PR are the women building the ships. Mm-hmm. Who does she work for? She works between NASA and Boeing. So we're not making it up. Mm-hmm. In the movie, I have photos of her with a shower cap on as she's checking the wires at the bottom of the ship. Mm-hmm. So here's a woman. They're on their second schematic of the design of these 60 ships that are going to be taking humans to Mars. Within 15 years, they'll have 60 completed. She's actually doing it. She's not getting paid to talk about it and be rich and say, hey, look at the Kardashians' new purse, Mars. Look at the Kardashians' new shapely butt, Mars. We are being, excuse me, but this is such a bizarre time. And to be one of the few women who's willing to live through the disgusting nature of what's happened to ufology, it's been a chapter I don't ever want to repeat. Mm-hmm. I can't wait till it ends. Mm-hmm. And we are at a time where I feel like it's close. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure Trump's going to go into office.
I'm not sure. I don't think he will, Patty. I have a real strong psychic impression that it's not going to happen, that he will either be impeached immediately or not take office at all.
I mean, is that a guy that wants to serve? Serve? The word serve?
No.
Anyone? I don't think so.
No.
So back to good things. This was my first movie. I'm trying to get it out of glare. There you go. It's called The Wake Up Call. Anybody listening?
Right.
Yeah.
Look at that information. That is 409 circles. In the middle of the night, 3 hours of darkness, pouring rain. Pouring rain. My friend said not a footprint in sight when he got there at 6 a.m. Mm. Not one footprint.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, you can't do that unless you're floating. And all the talk about Doug and Dave, the Tool guys in the 1980s that made the crop circles, they made all of them. Well, what about the one that happened in Italy and the one in Brazil the same night? Wow, Doug and Dave. If Doug and Dave did in fact make all the crop circles, they're traveling with the speed of light anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed, indeed. And
so nobody's going to win on this discussion.
Patty, I just was wondering if you have been receiving any more information about possible crop circle formations that are in North America. We're really on the verge of discovering there's a lot of evidence of prehistory. There are, huge skeletons have been discovered all over North America, from Catalina Island to, New Jersey. Are there hot points? Are there definite apexes where this kind of phenomena can occur and maybe is occurring in North America?
Yes. We've had an average of, I think it was 20 crop circles a year were documented between 2000 and 2006.
Really?
Mm. And then the American group that was documenting, didn't get funding. Mm-hmm. So he quit documenting.
Oh,
and now our research center is closed.
Oh.
So let's go back to the most important thing, which is this girl says nothing but crop circles are real, and they communicate with the binary code right before they lay the field down in seconds. Mm-hmm. So what we have is counter-rotating vortices coming out of the earth, coming through water, and being shown to humanity. Anybody that flies over, walks by, drives in their field with their tractor will experience this crop circle. And anybody or anything flying over in the elements or the atmosphere in the other dimensions, if they care to look down at Earth, or they check, Google Earth, they'll see that, there's our map, there's our star map, and off they go. So what we have is a co-communication that is co-communicating with all of us. It begins with the Earth. It's predetermined what the message is with whoever's sending the Earth a need to tell. Or if the mother herself is saying something, she'll just send it up. And there won't be a buzz, or maybe there will. It depends on how intent. But Penny Kelly actually said that her work with Lefty, William Levengood, the scientist, proved that the crop circles in America were actually higher frequency than the ones in Europe. Ooh. I've never gone to an American crop circle. I've gone to Europe every summer because it was the epicenter. Mm-hmm. But in 2009, when I was filming Patricia Corey, I had a helicopter fly over us at about 50 feet, enough to tangle my hair, and they stayed for 15 minutes. They just circled over the two of us, so I couldn't film. And they were pointing something at us that had a blinking red light. Wow. And she and I are sitting there, and she's like, a big speaker in Europe, controversial, and here I was just a beginner at the time. And she said, "Girl, you must have really caused a problem." And I said, "Are we on camera or about to be shot?" And she said, "I don't know." And so we're sitting there and, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm standing there at my camera with my arms crossed, and she's going, "Don't lose your cool. They're just trying to intimidate you." And I said, well, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm starting to get pissed. And of course, silly me, I went into my high school moment, and I leaned back and flipped him a double birdie, which might be in the locker room. Yeah, stupid Patty. She took a moment and bent over and just, acted like, and then I finally kicked in, like, turn the camera on them.
Right.
So, about 20 minutes, I finally turned the camera on them. I lit it up and circled and circled and circled, and then they flew away. It was like, God, why didn't I think of that? Cool. That footage up close. So I backed up the footage, and I looked, and it was blank. Oh. Blank. It lit back up where I could see them when they were way over, But, yeah, they've got a lot of gear.
Technology.
And then I went back to my B&B. Yeah. I went back to my B&B, and the guy there was really weird, and he drank too much. And then when I got back to American soil in 2009, I was uncomfortable. Wow. I knew they clocked because when I hiked out to my car, there's the heli over my car. Mm-hmm. So I felt like, wow, they're really scared of this data getting out. And I didn't go back in 2010. No, it was 2008. I filmed 3 movies. That's when they filmed me. 2009, I didn't go back. But 2010 and 11, I went with a man, and I had a great time again. But now they closed the research center. So they're very scared of the data getting out. And luckily, hardly anybody's doing it, luckily for them. Mm-hmm. But what they don't know is they're screwing the wrong person here, because I've already been poisoned. My hands are not in great shape. And so this is my life. And because I know that it's true, the medical profession in my country, your country, is acting fraudulently. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing, how can you possibly stick mercury fillings in people when you know you're killing them? How can you do this and then go home to your family and kiss them? Mm-hmm. How can the doctors be willing to knowingly give us the wrong blood test for mercury poisoning? That's the other thing. They're giving the wrong blood test. It took me 8 years to get the right blood test, and the owner of the lab called and said, "The good news is we make detox. The bad news is you trusted your doctors for 8 years. You're one of the worst cases we've ever seen." Oh, but the coolest thing about me being that poisoned on mercury was that I was completely telepathic. Mm-hmm. I was completely open to do all this work. Mm-hmm. I had nothing more important going on in my head than once I realized that this stuff was very, very real. My movies won a bunch of awards. This is, the EB Awards for Best Music, Best Film at the International UFO Congress. And then, but that unfortunately is one of the movies that they're hiding. So they've hidden these 4 of them, but these are the 2 that show the communication between the 2 balls of light, which to me is the most important discovery I've ever made.
Yeah.
So when I was told by people at the UFO event, you need to get somebody famous to acknowledge that that's real, that communication is real. And I said, really? He said, yeah, you need somebody with a PhD, initials, famous, get a couple of PhDs. And I was like, really? Is that what you need? He said, it's what the world needs to believe you, because you're a girl, you're kind of out there, you don't talk grounded because you're an experiencer, you don't lie at all, and you're really believable, but people are like, she's too real, I don't believe it. It's like, whatever. So he said, just get some PhD people to acknowledge it. I said, give me a name, because those people don't appeal to me that are all about their titles, But if there's somebody really great, give me a name. So he gives me a name. I write the guy, he says, sure, I'll take it. And I said, I can't pay you, but you might get famous if you want to prove the Oliver's Castle footage is real. Takes him about a month or 2. And after a month or 2, I called him 3 times one week, and I said, what's the answer? He said, well, it appears to me that it's an eyelash that fell on the original footage.
Eyelash. That's bizarre.
So it was very interesting. I'm not naming him. But what a coincidence that last Christmas, as I was rolling Crop Circle Diaries, and William Levengood had died in 2013, but he brought Penny and I together in 2014. I mean, from the dead, he brought us together. Crop Circle Diaries begins with that story. I can't even deny what happened, because people saw him next to me when I met Penny. And after I was brought back to my hotel, after meeting her, Lefty was walking up with me, and the 2 women standing at the door at 2:30 in the morning were just like, ah! And they were the psychics of the event I was speaking at. And they just kept nodding as I'm walking up. And I said, hello, ladies, what are you doing? And she said, what a lovely man walked you up. And I thought, Stan, I'm looking around for Stan. She goes, no, the man next to you, tall, silver hair, silver goatee. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
She said he has a message. She said he has a message. Can I give it to you? And meanwhile, the man that took me to meet Penny, who I didn't even know she was Lefty's partner until 4 hours later when I was leaving, and she hands me a book. I was like, what? Why didn't you tell me this 4 hours ago? And she looked at the man. She goes, you didn't tell her? And he went, mm-mm. I was like, wait a minute. You guys are so messing with me. You are not the secret partner. And she said, yeah. I'm the one that worked with him. What about Nancy Talbot, the big famous, push, push, push? She said she was expelled. Oops. Oh, well. She was expelled from the lab in 1998 and never allowed back in. So she's still like the one that people are listening to, and, whatever. That's nice. But Lefty's data proved. Why would they hide it? Why are they so scared of this getting out? I'm going to tell you why. Because the seeds inside crop circles are growing 30 to 400% more food, with up to 75% nutrition, with up to 75 more nutrition per plant. And when those seeds get hit by crop circle frequencies, those thinning, counter-rotating vortices of all those different distinct boundary conditions, no matter who's speaking, the Earth, the ETs, human consciousness, other dimensionals, no matter if it's 3 of us, 1 of us, just her, just them and her, it's always her also. So it really is the Earth, a living entity. We grow hair, she grows trees and plants. If people want to pretend that they are not fracking a living entity, they're messing with the wrong entity. Because I think my new prayer this week is, karma now, karma now, karma now. I think it's time that all of us, and I've increased my asking of the public, all of us need to put our hands and send it out that everything that is good in this world be multiplied and brought. And everything that is dark in this world be sent back, enclosed in a mirrored room, and only to reflect back until they fully surrender. And this is the new exercise that I think is really important for all of us.
Yes.
If you're not discerning enough and you're going to put yourself in a situation where they're going to wipe you and destroy you, well, then perhaps that's your karma. But if you empower yourself in this moment and really seriously ground all that you are and send out everything that's come at you that is not something you're choosing, that's where we're going to draw the line. So the fact that crop circles not only grow up to 400% more food and biofuel, hemp, like we really need gas and oil anymore. Like the mother's going to sit there much longer. She may as well just blow a few new locations of volcanoes, in my opinion, and just clear it. But she's being very patient. She's working with us. And so the beautiful thing about crop circles is that the seeds are enhanced by whatever's doing this. But Lefty and Penny would have never known had Lefty not taken seeds that were in a crop circle and put them on his desk and forgot about them for 6 to 8 weeks. When he was clearing his desk one day, he found this packet of seeds and he looked at them and they had shriveled, and he was going to throw them in the trash because they were all shriveled. He said, no proper seedsman would ever do anything with these seeds. And this little voice, that little voice in his head that I listened to, that you guys probably listened to, said, don't throw those seeds away. So he took the seeds and at last minute put them in a germination chamber and put them in a germination tank. And those seeds grew 30 to 400% more food and biofuel in every experiment that they did. And then they learned through these experiments that those seeds, once they had nap time for 6 to 8 weeks, and then they got planted, they could grow in soil with too much water, too much heat, no water, no heat. These seeds were supersized, super energized. And as they shriveled by these frequencies, then all of their energy, all of their plasmic field had to rebuild. So rather than just existing like we do, they were rebuilding and masterfully. So this is why they're hiding the crop circle technologies. This is why I'm no longer invited to be a speaker. You guys saw me. Thank you for saying it was one of your favorite talks. I don't hold back. And I show up with hundreds of photos as evidence. When I was making Crop Circle Diaries, I was in the early process. A Native American came up to me in December at an event. Beautiful man. And he said, Patty, I have a message for you. And I hadn't seen Bear Cloud since the first movie. And the fourth movie went, do you know Bear Cloud from Sedona?
Yes.
Lovely man. So he and I did crops together. So he came up to me at this big event, and it was the Star Knowledge Conference. And he said, I have something I'm supposed to give you. I said, what's that? He said, the original Oliver's Castle footage. What? You're giving me the original footage while I'm making this movie? Oh, Lefty, you are so good. I mean, Lefty is always, whoop, whoop. He's like, I always feel him. And I asked Penny a couple days ago, I said, does Lefty swear? Because she worked with him for 16 years. I never met him when he was alive. I've only been dealing with him since he passed. Because he's been yelling at me. I gave the movie to Linda Moulton Howe. I really wanted her to watch it. And she did work with Lefty and Penny does have respect for her. So I want to have respect for her, and I want to work together. If we all work together, it will be great.
Right.
Except, unfortunately, she's working for the people hiding my films, so I'm not sure she's allowed to. I don't know. But I sent her the movie with a whole heart, and we were going to talk the following Sunday. I didn't hear from her till Monday or Tuesday. Oh, she forgot. She's too busy, But it's been 3 months, and I'm still looking forward to her reviewing the film.
Yeah.
But I started hearing Lefty yell, tell Linda to watch that damn movie. And I'm hearing this yelling, tell Linda to watch the damn movie. And I called Penny and I said, why am I getting yelled at? Did he swear? And she goes, oh yeah, he swore a lot. And I was like, swearing in my ear. The guy's been gone 3 years. And I'm hearing him yell about that. But I can't control anything. You know, I just can't. So I can't. I look forward to all of us kind of working on the same team. But in the meantime, I have to be patient.
So, Patty, before you go, because you managed to take us full circle and answer the important question about why would they want to hide this information, can you tell us again for our viewers how they can reach you, how they can buy your stuff, how they can learn more about you? Because we're in the last couple of minutes of the show.
We want to make sure that everybody can contact you directly without any type of interference.
Well, my website is pattygreer.net, pattygreer.net. If you can't get them on my website, if it's a bad day for the hackers, you can hit me up on Amazon. I'm looking forward to getting Amazon all across the world. I had to delete 80 different ads that the hackers had put up in 7 countries. They created 28 stores. I mean, this is such a sad time for humanity to have money going to such ill acts. But the women and the men that are really doing it for love, we're going to keep in here. So I took everything I've ever done, and I just created this gift package, which is called Crop Circle Ecstasy.
Wonderful.
It's got everything I've ever done.
Wonderful.
8 movies and 4 music soundtracks. It's got everything, and it's half price. So if you get all in one box, it's not all these boxes, it's not all this plastic, it's one box. You turn the page and pull out the next movie. It's half price for all of it together. And for some reason, when I do radio shows, it's the thing that sells, which I love, is the people that really want the data, they want the whole collection. And because I do firsthand experiencers and I don't do misinformation, I think it's a real gift to be able to find the real data. And I'm not going to go quiet. The more they hack, the louder I get. And because I have people like you in my life doing great shows that get out to the world, we will win this war against consciousness.
Yes.
And the mother is determined. She's not going to stop making crop circles. And if you think that they're going to take down the crop circles in Wiltshire by closing our research center, she'll just throw them in Italy and France. And Crop Circle Diaries not only did I prove that the Oliver's Castle footage was real, Bear Cloud said to me, you have to come to my house in Sedona to get the footage, so I did. And what's the footage? It's the guy that told me it was an eyelash with 2 goobers on the end, which were the balls of light for the binary code, is in his movie that he gave me to use. And the guy is sitting in front of a wall of gear, and he says very straightforward, this footage is real. I've looked at every frame. And it is as real as the Phoenix Lights. And he goes on and on in Crop Circle Diaries, telling the truth. The same guy. So
fantastic.
I grabbed the footage. And then somebody from France sent me footage of 2 balls of light laying a crop circle down in France. So Oliver's Castle is only one. I have some from France also. It is true. Crop circles are real. They're happening by balls of light that are spinning, counter-rotating plasma vortices that are very intentional, and they're not going to go away anytime soon. So please visit pattygreer.net, get the truth, and don't give up. We're going to win this.
That's wonderful, Patty. And we thank you so much for joining us. And we're both surrounding you with white light so that you continue doing your exceptional work, which is so, so very much needed. You hang in there, girl. You're an amazing person, and we thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see you in person again before too long. But meanwhile, have a blessed New Year, Patty. May everything that you're working on just manifest and manifest and manifest. And thank you so much again for joining us on Contact TV.
Thank you.
We'll say goodnight for now. Bye-bye, Patty Greer. Thank you so much.
Bye, Patty.
Bye now. Thank you for watching Contact TV.
We would like to thank our generous sponsors, Lightwork Hypnosis, UFOria and the UFOria Chronicles, Earth Mystery News, Conspiracy Culture Books, MUFON Canada, Free experiencers, the Dr. Edgar Mitchell Foundation for Research into Extraterrestrial Encounters, and Variety Store Productions.
For guest booking information, please email Wes Roberts at producer@contacttv.ca. And don't forget to join us on Facebook and Twitter.